Okay, I wonder if you guys can hear me now. I think I was muted that entire time, which sucks. I hope you guys can hear me now. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. I have no idea what's going on. I had my microphone plugged in and I was talking that entire time. It was actually going really well. Unfortunately, you guys weren't able to hear me. I'm so mad about that. Dang it. All right, well, guys, right now we got James in P1, Lewis in P2, Anthony in P3, Wings in P4, Keems in P5, Yo-Yo P6, Flea P7, Mr. Basil P8, Keen David P9, Nem, and then Snooker Robin, Big Weir, Shugs Life, and Pesto. Now, okay, Robin and Big Weir did, I think, make contact. I think Robin unfortunately has had wing damage. He had to pit. Same with Big Weir. But I'm super mad about that. It was going so well, guys. We're talking about pretty much the entire race, and I guess you guys couldn't hear me that entire time. I couldn't believe that. Dang it. I was talking for so long. I was talking for the past 20 minutes just to me. Well, sorry about that, guys. I didn't know. But anyway, we'll get back to the racing. No big deal. The Bentley's still leading us away. James had a great lap. We were commentating on that earlier on, but unfortunately, you guys couldn't hear me, which sucked. But anyway, James currently leading by 4/10 of a second now, 0.6, as Anthony on the medium compound tires, starting to chase after these guys. He's just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Great start for Anthony. He qualified P6, if I'm not mistaken. And Keensholm also had a great start as well, from 7th to 5th. Great to see that. And I hope you guys can still hear me. That would be really unfortunate if you guys cannot. Let me see. Oh, I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, guys. I did not know I was muted, but it's all good. We'll move on from that. The two Bentleys, I wonder if they're going to do a switcheroo. I don't know exactly how that's going to work out. We'll find out. Azure in the Monster Energy car, currently P4, Keemsholm P5. He's got Yo-Yo right behind him in the Toyota, looking pretty strong. I'm trying to remember what I was saying previously before I fixed my mic. Oh, Flea's just hit the wall. I think Flea's got major wing damage. Oh, Flea locks up, I think. Yeah, he's got wing damage. Unfortunately, cannot, like, turn or anything like that. Yellow flag. Is that because of Flea? I think that is because of Flea. Unfortunate to see that. Oh, you can see a Porsche driver just coming around trying to get back on track. All good, though. He's going to have to pit, though. As there goes the Toyota of Keen David. And now his teammate's coming up. Nem Vidic is going to have to get around that Porsche as he comes in the pit lane. So good news for Nem is he won't have to deal with Flea at the moment. Unfortunate for Flea. Oh, he's retired. Oh, no. It was going also well, too, for Flea. Unfortunately, it didn't work out at the end, as we have Yo-Yo and Keemsholm having a great battle here. As I said a while ago, unfortunately you guys could not hear me then, is that this track has got literally no overtaking opportunities. Only one DRS zone, that is between turn 18 and turn 1. That is at Anthony Knows. Oh! Oh no, crash! Azure spun it looks like, and I think Yo-Yo and Keemsholm got caught up in that. Mr. Basil also got caught up in that. Azure has been given a 5-second penalty for collision with Keemsholm. Oh dear. Unfortunate to see that, as Azure's got major wing damage. Similar situation to what happened with Flea, it seems, as Nem was looking for the move on Keen David, I think. All good there. Oh, does Keemsholm have damage? I think he's got a little bit of damage. You can see him kind of fighting the steering wheel there. Yeah, he's definitely got damage. Let's take a look at the Ford driver. Looks like it's very small, but you can tell there is a very... Yeah, he's coming in the pit lane. It's just very hard to draw. Oh, dear. Oh, he saved it. He saved it. That was very close to that race ending. Thankfully, it did not end. But up at the front, Anthony on the medium compound tires, closing up to Lewis now. So that's great to see, as well as we have Big Weir and Robin. I think they're swapping positions here. Robin right ahead. Big Weir might get the opportunity to make a move. Turn 2, here we go. Robin keeps ahead, though. Big Weir cannot make the move. And like I mentioned, overtaking is very difficult for around here, so you got to take every opportunity that you have to make an overtake. Oh, Robin locks up. Almost hits the back of the Monster Energy car. Big Weir might have the opportunity to make the move on the Bentley driver. The Bentley car keeps ahead. Big Weir P10 still. So these three will continue their battle for 8th currently. And moving up to the top here, James currently P1, Lewis currently P2, Anthony currently P3 with Yo-Yo in P4. Oh, looks like we have a Toyota. I think that's Big Weir. Oh, Robin and Big Weir, I think. Or maybe just Robin. Robin maybe spun it on the exit of the Nova Chicane turn 11, it seems. Unfortunately, he's got major wing damage, going to have to pit. It seems like wing damage is a very big thing in today's race, especially with these walls. This race is all about consistency, guys. It is really all about consistency. These drivers have to make sure that they should just consistently drive and not get wing damage, but it seems like that is a very difficult thing to do, and to be honest, I completely agree with all these drivers. It is a very, very difficult thing to do. As it looks like the Fords are having a great battle. Pesto and Keensholm separated between 0.2 of a second. Keensholm got a little bit of a poor exit off of turn 1, but is still right behind the Ford driver. So he's going to be right there looking to make the move on the Ford as soon as possible. So any other battles we're seeing on track? Let's see. It doesn't look like that's the case. I think the only battle we're really seeing is the battle for 9th and the battle for 2nd right now. It looks like it's all good. And it looks like, oh, Pesto may have made a little mistake there. Keensholm might have the opportunity to make the move. He's got a lot of ERS to spare, so he should be able to maybe make this move on Pesto as we come down to this particular turn. Swimming pool section. Pesto stays ahead. Keensholm P10. Keensholm looks to make the move on the Ford driver right ahead. Pesto keeps ahead for now, though. Keensholm's using ERS, using DRS. He should get past his teammate here. Is he going to try and set it? Yes, he is! He's going to go down the inside, but backs off because he knows there's not enough space there to make the overtake. But he's going to use a little bit of ERS to try and make the move on Pesto. Here we go down into Massenet and Casino. These two turns, it looks like Keensholm cannot make the move, as it looks like the two Bentleys into the pit lane. Lewis and James. Anthony takes over as race leader, as Keensholm has got ahead of Pesto. While that has happened, Keensholm has made the move on the Ford driver. The Fords do swap positions here, and Keensholm is up into P9 now. It looks like Yo-Yo's also into the pit lane, probably pitting for the medium compound tires. Mr. Basil also looking to get a good position here. He's currently P4. Now he's going long. He's going to pit for the soft soon. So this will be really good for him. He might be able to catch up to Yo-Yo here. And it looks like Nem is also coming into the pit lane here. So good news for Nem. A lot of smoke at the Porsche garage. Not sure exactly what that was about. All good there. But not a lot of action right now, I'd say. I think that's just down to it being Monaco, and Monaco can be very, very difficult. But right now, we're keeping the cameras on Big Weir and Shug's Life. This is our closest battle out on track. 0.8 separating these two drivers. Shug's Life could have the opportunity to make the move on Big Weir, but there is a tire difference between these two drivers. Big Weir is on 2-lap-old mediums, and Shug's Life is on 6-lap-old mediums as well. So quite interesting, but that is that. Alrighty, so what else can we talk about? Not a lot of action going on track. I think we're just kind of waiting for Anthony and Mr. Basil to come into the pit lane. Same with King David. All three have yet to pit in this race, and I'm curious to see where they're going to come out. King David currently 15 seconds behind Mr. Basil. That is an enormous gap between Mr. Basil and King David. Mr. Basil should come out right behind King David, but David's going to have to pit very soon as well. So Anthony currently leading this race. He should come into the pit lane in the next 2 laps, as Big Weir sits the fastest lap of the race at 1:12.045. Oh, Porsche off the track. Is that Nem? It looks like that. Oh, no! Anthony spins! No! The Porsche driver spun! He just got too much on the power. It seems that's Anthony's race over. He is still in the race, but has major wing damage, and that is basically it for the Porsche driver. Drama on lap 10 as Anthony spins around. He narrowly avoids the wall there. So it looks like the two Toyota swap positions. Yo-Yo up into P5 and King David down to P6. Meanwhile, Big Weir and Pesto have a great battle as well for 9th. Big Weir does get ahead. But that is major disappointment for the Porsche driver. And we're just going to ride on board with James, who's going to overtake Anthony probably in the next few corners here. He is right in the back of the Porsche driver. Devastation for the German manufacturer as Anthony will have to pit from the Monaco Grand Prix lead. James will get ahead. Anthony's going to give him space, taps the wall a little bit. Lewis might get in the action as well. Lewis might be able to get a good exit off of Anthony into turn 11. Anthony goes wide. And I think he's just going to let him through. Anthony gets a 3-second time penalty in the process of that. And I think he's accepted that his race is basically over at this stage. He might be able to get like a P6 here. Maybe P5. But it'll be really difficult for him to do that. He actually might be able to get he might still be able to get P3 in this race. So that'll be good for him. Mr. Basil pushing as hard as he can, though, to try and catch up here. Mr. Basil going for the podium right now. But same with Yo-Yo. Mr. Basil is going to stay out. Yo-Yo trying to push as much as he can. 16.3 seconds separating 4th and 5th. Or now 3rd and 5th. As Anthony's still in the pit lane. He now exits. And he's going to come out ahead of Yo-Yo, who's going to exit the final corner now. It might be a little close between the two drivers, but I think Anthony should get ahead there. You can see the Porsche just exiting the pit lane, and there goes Anthony up into 4th position now on the soft compound tires. So Anthony should get 3rd position here once Mr. Basil does come into the pit lane. As meanwhile, we have Big Weir making a lot of overtakes as he's just made the move on Snooker and is up into P8, so good move by Big Weir. Also, looks like Kingsholm has catched up to King David. So, good battle forming here for 6th position currently. So, that'll be good. As it looks like Pesto is coming into the pit lane now. As, oh, King David's got a red flag. And King David has left the session, it seems. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. But, there goes Kingsholm making a dive. I think he had to because King David, he's got an X next to his name. He is not in the race currently. That was a good move from Kingsholm as he just made that move. And he knew that King David wasn't, or his AI wasn't going to be affected really too much. His yellow flag, is that a Ford off the track at the first turn? It seems like that is the case. Not exactly sure, though. And Big Weir should have the overtake. Yes, he does. Gets up into 7th position. The yellow flag in turn 8 at the last heavy braking zone before the Novel chicane. I don't know if that was maybe Anthony or, oh, he's just at a purple sector in the first sector. That might have been the Ford of Nemvidic, as it seems like he was the nearest to the yellow flag at the time. So currently our closest battle is 6th position, Kingsholm versus Big Weir, as a yellow flag, as that is a Ford off the track. That could be Pesto. Let's find out. That is Pesto. Yes, that is Pesto. In 14th currently. As we have Big Weir and Kingsholm still separated by around 0.5 of a second. Very good entrance and exit for Big Weir here, as he is now going to make that move on Kingsholm. Kingsholm stays ahead. Big Weir right behind, though. Are we seeing a Larascas move? Let's see. Kingsholm defends. Big Weir looks for the switchback. Right on the back of the Ford. Here we go. Down to turn 1. He's practically bumping that Ford through that particular corner. He's got barely any ERS. Neither of them really have any ERS. Big Weir cannot make the overtake, but he might be able to get a better exit. No, they get pretty equal exits, actually, the two of them. So Big Weir's going to have to hope for a miracle or something like that if he's going to get the overtake done on this particular lap. And Azur is right behind Shug's Life, who goes a little deep into that particular section. I think he may have a little bit of wing damage. Azur might be able to get ahead here. Not exactly sure. Big Weir still right behind the Ford of Kingsholm. Looking for the move, trying to charge ERS, and oh, we get the 3-second time penalty for corner cutting there. As Mr. Basil is into the pit lane for Monster Energy. He does come into the pits, will be overtaken by Anthony, and he should be overtaken by Yo-Yo as well. He should actually come out in the battle for 6th right now. Let's find out. Riding on board with Big Weir, actually, as he's trying to make that move on Kingsholm. Gets a little bit too much oversteer there. And looks like Mr. Basil should get out in 5th position on the soft compound tires, so good news for him. As here comes Big Weir, looking for the move on Kingsholm. Kingsholm defending with his life here. They must be having a lot of fun right here because it looks very fun as they're having a great battle. Oh, Big Weir, no! He's got too much on the curb. He's got no wing now. He got too much on that bump. And unfortunately, he's got major wing damage. That is his race, and his chances for a top 5 in today's race practically over. Super unfortunate. Absolutely unfortunate for the Toyota driver. He's going to exit in P10, which will be maybe even P11 out of the points, which would be super unfortunate for the Toyota driver. But it is what it is. Since we have a Ford off the track, I think that's Nemvidic actually getting out of the way since he has a lapped car. Big Weir trying to keep it going here. He's got major wing damage, though. Once you get wing damage, the car just does not want to turn at all, especially in this track where walls are everything. You're so close to the walls, but it looks like Mr. Basil coming into the pit lane as well. Does he have wing damage as well? Yes, he does. No, he just came into the pit lane. It was going so well for Mr. Basil. It was also going well from Big Weir, and it just didn't work out. Azur will get up into 6th. And Shug's Life into 7th, Robin into 8th. Good points for Bentley right now, as the 2 Bentleys still leading us away by 24 seconds. As Robin and Shug's Life, that is our closest battle right now. This is for 7th position as we enter lap 16 out to 20 for the sprint race here. And not a lot of things to talk about right now, guys. I know. I don't really know exactly what to talk about. If you guys have any questions, actually, please let me know down in the comments below. If you guys do have any questions for me, that would be very much appreciated. If you guys have any questions about the upcoming race, the 50% race, the league itself, or just if you have any questions for me, predictions, all that sort of thing, just let me know down in the comments. I'd like to get some comments coming in so we can just talk about some things, because that'd be great. But what else can we talk about? Well, we can talk about the season so far. It's been an absolutely amazing season. We have had 7 rounds of the Formula 4 Championship. The time is flying by. Oh, Robin, I think, made a little mistake at La Rascas. He saved it, though. He still somehow has got DRS off of Shug's Life. I think he may have got that before, though. That's probably what happened there. But he is, oh, Big Weir and Mr. Basil. Great battle forming here for 9th. Big Weir right ahead. A little bit of glitching going on with that car, it seems, as it's a little bit distorted. Not exactly sure what's going on, but Mr. Basil's still right behind Big Weir in this battle for 9th, this epic battle for 9th. Shug's Life currently on 14-lap-old medium compound tires. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to have the pace to keep it ahead of Robin, who is flying right now and is 8/10 behind. And Big Weir right there as well. A great battle forming here for 7th. Is Big Weir going to try and go for on Robin? No, he backs off. He knows that there's not enough space. Shug's Life, it seems like he's maybe struggling with tire wear or has damage. I think it's the first discussion that I just had there. I think he's got tire wear issues, as he seems like he's struggling a little bit with grip. Big Weir, though, is not, and he is just wanting to get past here. And he might be able to make the overtake now. He's got ERS, DRS. Robin's got DRS as well. He's going to go for on Shug's life. Here we go, down to turn 1. Oh, Robin just mistaked. I think he made a little mistake with his braking point. And there now goes Big Weir. Big Weir on Robin. Robin pulls off. I think he's got damage, it seems. No, that's the race leader. That's James. James, the race leader. Everyone's trying to pull off to the other side of the track as Robin, when he pulled off, Mr. Basil made the overtake. This is the race leaders. Where's Lewis in all of this? Lewis is P2. He's right behind this train of cars. I was like, where the heck did another Bentley come from? I didn't know there was another Bentley in that battle, but no, it's just the race leaders. They are lapping these cars. Robin, I think he's just hit the wall a little bit there. Let's take a look at Robin. Mr. Basil, he's got the race, the second place driver in second position, his teammate actually. Mr. Basil, right in P8, Big Weir in P7, Azur in P6. And then all the way up to from 5th above is pretty spread out. So the battle really is for 6th position. Let's see what Lewis does in this particular section. Robin's going to pull off to the other side of the track. There he goes. Lewis is going to get up in a second now. Looks like Mr. Basil has just been given a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's probably at turn 1, as he is just up the road, it seems. We can take an onboard with the Monster Energy car as we enter lap 19 out of 20 of this Monaco Grand Prix qualifying session. Oh, Mr. Basil, I think, hit the wall there. Lewis is going to get past. I think Mr. Basil is trying to get out of the way. Robin might have an opportunity, though, to make the move on the Monster Energy car. Let's take a look at penalties. They are all on 3-second time penalties, so they are fighting for position here. And is Robin going to make a last lap overtake? He gets very close. Oh, Mr. Basil hits the wall. Robin had no time to react to that. He hit the Monster Energy car as well. Shug's life gets up into 9th. Mr. Basil, I think a spin, unfortunately cost him that 8th position. But that is the way it goes in racing. So here comes James, round the final couple of corners. He is going to win the Monaco Grand Prix. No, he's not. He's not going to win the Monaco Grand Prix. He starts the 20th lap of the race. I am wrong, but we'll ride on board with James, and we'll take it on board with the driver that qualified on pole. First and second and third actually have all... Actually, no, third was Big Weir. First and second have stayed in their position pretty much all race. They have done a consistent race and really just done pretty great race here today. Anthony in the Porsche started P6, finishes P3 in the end of it, so that's going to be great for him. Great points for the Porsche team. And the third place driver might start catching up to the back markers here. Hopefully that does not affect his race results. But we'll see what happens. What is going on there? There's a spark going on. What is that? I have never seen anything like that. We're going to ride on board with Anthony just to see what is going on. It seems like maybe Mr. Basil hit the wall, and right now there is fire on the entrance of Nova Chicane. Let's take a look. Is it still there? Yes, it is still there. What is going on? You can see it. You can still see it. Okay, well, James qualifies in P1 for the 50% race. He wins the sprint race here today. It is a Bentley 1-2 here in Monaco. James, the winner of the sprint qualifying here. Lewis in P2, he will qualify second. With Anthony, around the final couple of corners, he will come and finish in P3 for Porsche. I think it could have been first position for him, but... he will take third, I'm assuming. I think he'll take third. He'll be okay there. As it looks like we still have battles going on. Azur and Big Weir. Azur, I think, hit the wall, though. Unfortunately, he's going to be down to 7th. Robin might have the opportunity. Or no, not Robin. I think that's a Porsche of Nem Vidic. But Big Weir might have the opportunity to make the move on Kingsholm. Are we going to see a Larascas move on the final lap, on the final corner? Let's see. Here comes Big Weir. He's looking for the move. He's got to get a good exit, though. He does not. He's going to try and go around the outside. Here he goes. Oh, he just can't, though. Kingsholm's going to keep ahead. Unless Big Weir can make the speed and try and make the move on Kingsholm to the line. Oh, it was so close. It was so close between 5th and 6th. But unfortunately, it seemed to be a penalty, and also Kingsholm was able to get that position. So unfortunate for Big Weir, but good news for Kingsholm as he finishes in P5. But congrats to James, the winner of the sprint qualifying here. Lewis in P2, Anthony in P3, Yo-Yo P4, and Kingsholm rounding off the top 5 for Ford. Great to see that, but here's the podium celebrations. It is James that takes the win for Bentley, the British driver, for the British-German team. But Bentley will be very happy with the performance that they showed today. 1-2 in the sprint race. But now we head into the 50% race where things get a little bit more interesting. And I think we will see a very big mix-up. We don't know if Bentley will be able to take the win. It's possible they might be able to, but consistency is key. And we will see how that works out. So here's the results for the Monaco sprint qualifying. James ends up P1 with Lewis in P2, Anthony in P3, Yo-Yo P4, Kingsholm P5, Big Weir P6, Azur in P7 for Monster Energy, and Robin in P8 for Bentley, Mr. Basil P9 for Monster Energy, and Keen David P10 for Toyota. The Toyota rounds off the top 10 with Shug's Life in P11, Snooker in P12, Pesto in P13, and Nemvidic rounding off the 14 drivers. I think there's another driver there, the Flea. Flea wasn't able to finish the Grand Prix. He finishes down in P15, unfortunately, but that is the way that works. He will get back into the 50% race. All these drivers will. Also, Anthony grabbed the fastest lap of 1:11.253 for the Porsche drivers, so congrats to him on that fastest lap, an extra point for him in the standings, so that'll be good for him. But what else can we talk about? I think we're just waiting for the 50% race to get underway, and then we'll do that. So I'm gonna mute for a second just so I can get some water and all that sort of thing, and get prepared for the race to come. So stick with us in the stream, and then we'll get the racing underway. All right. So we are back. We're going to get the racing underway. We had a short break, and now we're getting everything underway for the 50% race here at LFR Limitless Formula Racing League. And today we're here for round 7 of season number 1. If you guys are just joining us, please make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more LFR content. Like this video if you enjoyed the commentary that I'm producing for you guys. And also, if you guys would like to, please make sure to subscribe to my personal channel as well. It's called Formula Jonah. That would be very much appreciated, as I produce content on motorsport every single Monday. It's been that train for a while, of the Mondays, and so we've been keeping that. So yeah, please do that, guys. That would be very much appreciated if you can do that. If you can go subscribe over to my channel. But anyway, with all the promotion stuff out of the way, send in your thoughts on the upcoming Grand Prix. We got 13 seconds as these drivers are preparing for the race. They're getting their setup, they're getting their tires all situated before the upcoming Grand Prix. We're going to get a formation lap, and then we're going to get the 50% race underway. 39 laps of action here in Monaco at the Circuit de Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix. A lot of Monacos, but yeah, of course, we're here in Monaco, the Principality, as of course. And we're here in one of the most, I'd say, the second shortest country in the world, which is actually quite interesting. It's very interesting, actually. Monaco is a very small city, but so well known across the world. I mean, it's a beautiful city. It really is. I mean, you see the mountains, you see all the city itself. And of course, it's located just off the Mediterranean Sea. It borders France, and it's just a magnificent country. It really is. So anyway, we prepare for probably the most famous race in all of F1, the Monaco Grand Prix. It's up there with the 24-hour of Le Mans, the Indy 500, the Daytona 500. It's up there with all of those famous races in motorsport. And when people think of Formula One, even if they're not Formula One fans, they think of the Monaco Grand Prix. All right, so let's do a rundown of the grid before we get into the racing here today. We have 39 laps as these drivers are setting the pace. They're getting ready to start the Grand Prix. The formation lap is on, and let's get into the rundown. So we got James in the Bentley qualifying on pole position. He consistently drove to win from pole in the one-shot qualifying through the sprint qualifying to the win and to pole position for the 50% race. His teammate also did the exact same thing, started second, finished second, and will qualify second here at the 50% race. Anthony qualified 6th in the one shot. He finished 3rd in the Grand Prix. I think he probably could have won that race if it wasn't for that spin that he did have. So maybe he could be winning this race. We'll find out. Yo-Yo starts P4 alongside Anthony for Toyota to round off the second row of the grid. Keensom is P5 for Ford alongside Big Weir, who had a great battle. They both had a great battle in the race. And then we got Azur in the Monster Energy starting P7 with Robin in the 3rd Bentley starting P8. Mr. Basil starts 9th with Shug's Life in P10. Snooker and Pesto start P11 and P12 with the 2 Porsches rounding off the grid. Nem Vidic and Flea, the 2 Porsches, Nem ahead of Flea at the end of the formation lap as we prepare for the 5 red lights to get underway for the race here today in LFR. 14 drivers on the grid for the Monaco Grand Prix, round 7 of the first season of Division number 3, Formula 4 on Thursday. As we get the racing underway, 39 laps await us. I'm Formula Jonah, your commentator, as we get the racing underway. It's 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go here in Monaco. It's a great start for the front 2. A very good start for James, who gets away well. Anthony trying to challenge as well as that is it looks like Keensom trying to make the move on Yo-Yo, and Big Weir trying to get in the action as well. Big Weir up to P5. Shug's Life and Mr. Basil and Flea moving up a few positions. Flea up to P10. And Shug's Life trying to get in the mix as well. Robin, as we have Big Weir and Keensom side by side. Big Weir backs off. Keensom stays ahead in 4th. Yo-Yo in P6 as we enter the hotel hairpin. Not a great start for Nemvidic, who's down in P14. Great start for his teammate Flea in P10 now. But the top three all stay the same. Yo-Yo did not have a great start, though. He is down to P6. So not a great start for him. But the two Bentleys lead us away. James ahead of Lewis, and then Anthony in P3. Keen's on P4 with the two the two Toyotas in P5 and P6. As Flea's already out. Flea out of the race. Is that a full course safety or a virtual? No, it is not. But Flea is already out on the first lap. Oh, it has not been his day. He crashed out in the 50% race, and he has crashed out today. It has not been his day, but that is how racing goes. He'll move on to the next one. As we have Keensom and Big Weir having a great battle for 4th right now. And we're going to see this great battle continuing on as Keensom will stay ahead. Big Weir in P5. Alrighty, as Flea's actually left the session, not exactly sure what happened there, but it is what it is. Unfortunate, but that's okay. So James currently leading the race by Lewis in P2, Anthony P3, Keensom P4, Big Weir P5, Yo-Yo P6, completing the top 6. I think our closest battles right now are Big Weir versus Keensom and James and Lewis. Oh, Big Weir spinning it a little bit there. His teammate might get the opportunity to make the move. No, he is too far back. And Big Weir will look to make the move on Keensom very soon. We'll see. I'm still right on board with Big Weir because I want to see what exactly happens here. So let's see what he can do. Keensom still heading P4. Big Weir P5. The battle still continues on. Let's find out if Big Weir will be able to make that overtake. Oh, Snooker's actually come into the pit line. What happened to him? Oh, he's got no front wing. He's got a shadow there. What the heck? I have no idea what that was all about. But he's going to come into the pit lane now. Oh, yellow flag. Is that... that's Keensom. Oh, no, he's got no wing. Keensom off the track. Is that his race over? No, I think he's still in the race. So good news there, but not the best of news you want to hear. Of course, we want Keensom to get a good result. He was in P4. It was looking all very good. Oh, he spins the car around. It has not been the day that Keensom would have wanted. So up at the front, we have this great battle for first right now. James, Lewis, and Anthony. First, second, and third. Yellow flag. Is that Keensom? I think that might be Keensom. Yes, it is. The Ford driver. He's off the track. He's trying to get back on the track. He's going to get back on track, so that's good news. But, Snooker is going to be right behind him now. So, oh, Kingsholm is DNF'd. Kingsholm is out of the race. Oh, no. So that is the Ford driver out of the Grand Prix. So he's going to be down to P13. Unfortunate to see that. So Lewis still right behind James, 7/10 of a second between the two drivers right here. Anthony in the battle too. So great to see a nice little battle here for first, as it looks like Robin comes into the pit lane. Let's get tires on screen as well so you guys can see all that. As it looks like Robin's going to come into the pit lane for the hard compound tires. Great to see that. And actually, I'm going to see if we can try and get Kingsholm in the commentary box, because I know he's a great commentator. So maybe I can try and get him in. It looks like Pesto is just pit as well. He's coming into the pit lane, or coming out of the pit lane. He's going to exit in P11. So up at the front, it is James currently leading still from Lewis. And then Anthony. Not a lot of change right now. They're all kind of on the same tire. So not a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. I know it's a little difficult to talk about a lot of things right now. I guess we can talk about the season itself. I do want to talk about that. So actually, let's bring up the calendar. I know you guys cannot see it on your screen currently. We will I want to try and get OBS or something like that. Might be able to get that technology so I can put all the graphics up on screen so you guys can see it. But in the meantime, I will read everything to you guys. We can talk about all this sort of things. So standings, I do want to take a look at that because we have a great standings opportunity, a great chance to talk about the championship standings. So Dazzy number 1 fan currently leads the way. I do believe that is James. James currently leading the race. I do believe he is P1 with 146 points. Court in the Ford is P2. Unfortunately, he's not here today. As Pesto does retire from the session. Is that going to bring out a safety car? I'm not exactly sure about that one, but it may bring out a safety car. But Pesto is out of the race, unfortunately. But going back to what I was saying, we also have Liam in P3. Now, Liam, I don't think is here today, unless I am maybe he changed his name. Could it be Azur? I don't think it's Azur. I don't think Liam changed his name to Azur. I think these are two different people. But correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. I'm sorry if I am. But anyway, what can we talk about? I think our closest battle really is this battle we're seeing on screen right here. James, Lewis, and Anthony. That is our closest battle, and it is for first position. But since this track doesn't have really many places to overtake, it is going to be very difficult for these drivers to do that, as the gaps will keep fluctuating there. I think our other battle is Yo-Yo versus Azur. Azur, 9/10 behind Yo-Yo. The gap is there, so that'll be good. But I think Anthony might be closer to Lewis here. Let's find out. So it looks like Shug's Life is coming into the pit lane. He's going to come in for a set of hard compound tires. And I wonder why he's doing this. I think he may be pitting onto the hards for... Actually, I have no idea. But he is going to be pitting onto the hard tires, so quite interesting. As Lewis gets a 3-second time penalty Very interesting. I'm very surprised about that one. He must have, what happened there? Maybe he cut the corner just a little bit too much at the Novel chicane. Kind of seems like that is the case. But we don't know all the information. But he did get a 3-second, which is going to affect his result. And that could hand the place to Anthony, who is 3/10 behind. And this is actually very good for Anthony right now, because Anthony might be able to get this move on Lewis. And this would be great for him, because if he can get the move on Lewis, he can start challenging James for first position in this race, and then we'll get that championship fight, or not that championship fight, but that race fight between those two drivers. So we'll see how that works out, because for racing wise, I think these drivers need to fight. These James and Anthony, they're going to be fighting. I think we'll get some great racing between the two. The race will continue on with these three drivers here, but Anthony, if he can overtake Lewis, that would be great. And then the race will be on between James and Anthony. Anthony will look to make that move on that Bentley, and then we'll get that fight for first in the race, and then we'll see what exactly happens and who will become race winner of the Monaco Grand Prix. But Lewis still has an opportunity. He still has the opportunity to win this race. If it's not James or it's not Anthony, he might be able to do this. He is in the middle. He does have that 3-second time penalty. But if James or Anthony makes a little mistake, then Lewis is right there and looking to make that overtake on one of those drivers, you know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It looks like Shug's Life is coming into the pit lane, I think again. It has not been the race he would have wanted. It looks like Azur is right on the back of Yo-Yo. That is our closest battle right now, and that's the battle for 5th position currently. Now, Anthony looking for that move on Lewis very soon. Let's see if he can do that. He's coming down into La Rascasse. Might have the opportunity. And Big Weir starting to catch up to this fight, too. We could see a 4-way fight for first here, which would be absolutely incredible. You can see that Toyota just in the distance looking to catch up to the Porsche and the Bentley. Let's ride on board with Anthony and see what he can do. The Bentley right ahead. Anthony will look to continue to get that move on Lewis and try and overtake him. Let's see if there's going to be any overtakes here. And Anthony will be right behind Lewis, coming in down into the Hotel Hairpin. Robin FR just got a penalty, it seems. 3-second time penalty. As Big Weir in the Toyota will be looking to try and make that move on Anthony as soon as possible. Let's find out. And I think that might be our closest battle besides Azur and Yo-Yo here. I don't know if Yo-Yo and Azur will be swapping positions here. As I have mentioned many different times, and we've seen it on track, there is not any overtakes really going on right now because it's just how this track is. There is a very big limit on overtakes for around here. Oh, yellow flag. That might be Mr. Basil or that's Snooker. That's Snooker, I do believe. I think he was just pointing off to the other side of the track to try and get those other drivers past and up into their current positions. And guys, sorry if I'm sounding a little just like in and out with talking. Right now I'm kind of just, there's not a lot of stuff to talk about, and also I'm getting water as well since I'm commentating alone. It's quite difficult to commentate on your own. But yeah, that's kind of the reason why we're doing that. So just letting you know about all that sort of thing. That's kind of what I'm in and out on talking. But what can we talk about? I mean, there's a few battling going on here for 5th, actually. Yo-Yo and Azure. They're having a good battle here. Azure might be able to make that overtake on Yo-Yo. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that. But really, it's just this battle for 5th and then the battle for 1st, really. I think these drivers will probably come into the pit lane. It's just a matter if one of these guys will try and go for the undercut. And if there's rain, which the clouds do are very, very dark, it may seem like that we could get some rain coming in. We'll find out. Oh, yellow flag. I think that might be Snooker. Yeah, he's off the track. He's going backwards right now. He's got no front wing. It's not been a good day for the Monster Energy car. He's off the track. He's going to get back out on track, though. There comes the Toyota and the Monster Energy. Ooh. Snooker will go off the track, though. And then he'll reverse and then get back on track. So that's good for him. What is going on over there? What is going on over there? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What is going on? There is a wall over there that's shaking back and forth. I've seen this glitch before. It is quite hilarious, to be honest. It's actually, we have Robin and Nem Vidic also having a great battle as well. But you can see it just there at the exit. It's just off a little bit as Anthony gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh dear. Not good, but they'll continue on. Anthony will continue on. So James still leading the race by Lewis in P2, Anthony P3, and Big Weir P4. The top 4 all in a nice battle for 1st, and then we have a 24.9 second gap to 5th position. That is it's pretty. The entire field's kind of been spread out here into 2 halves. As it looks like all the Monster Energy cars are grouped around each other. Mr. Basil will take over as as the leader of the Monster Energy team. And it looks like this battle for 1st is still going on between these 4 different drivers, but no overtakes quite yet. I just don't think they're close enough. I think Lewis might be the closest out of any of them, but he is teammates with James, so I don't know if Bentley want to swap their 2 drivers or not. Oh, Anthony in the wall! No! That has to be a safety car. Anthony in the wall, out of the race on lap 17. He just spun it off to the off of the wall there, I think. He's got too much on the power out of the turn 4 of Casino and Massenet, that particular part of the track. Anthony out of the race. That is horrible for the Porsche driver. It was looking all so good. And how is that not a safety car? How is that not a safety car? There's no way that's not a safety car. But it's not. I am incredibly surprised by that one. Oh, Azure and Yo-Yo swap positions here. But wow. Wow. Unfortunately, Anthony out of the race. It just wasn't going It was going very well until that spin. That spin just affected his entire race, and of course he's out of the race, becomes the 4th retirement of the race. Now we only have 10 runners in the Grand Prix. Well, this is actually kind of good news for Big Weir. The Toyota driver now has that Porsche out of the way, and he might be able to challenge the Bentleys here. He might be able to challenge James for the win. So James currently leading, Lewis in P2, Big Weir in P3. The question is, when are they going to pit? Is undercut a thing here? And will they all try and go for the undercut or not? And the gap to 4th from 3rd is 46 seconds. That's how big the gap is. Mr. Basil is just coming through turn 8. These guys have just come into turn 2. It's almost, I mean, that's a long way between 3rd and 4th. They could definitely make, I'd say, 1 to 2 pit stops and still get ahead, I think. It's just, that's kind of how this track works, guys, is that the packs kind of separate, and then they kind of just work their way into a pretty big gap from the rest of the field. It's just kind of how it works out. It's just how racing works. But our closest battle is actually for 4th, as Mr. Basil's actually off the track. What happened there? Azur is now up into 4th. Azur on the soft compound tires. He's probably going to have to come into the pit lane very soon, as Mr. Basil is now coming into the pit lane. He's on 17 lap old mediums. It seems that he's struggling with tire wear. But he's going to come out in the battle with, wait, where's Nem? Actually, Nem will come out ahead. Robin, actually, Nem coming into the pit lane, so Robin will overtake Mr. Basil here. And they're actually going to get lapped by the front runners here. Let's sit right on board with James. We'll see how this works out. Is Mr. Basil going to get ahead? I think he'll come out right behind, actually. So if a safety car comes out, that will not be good for Mr. Basil. And our closest battle is really the battle for 2nd right now, or the battle for 1st, actually, as these 3 are just going at it. The gap is just 4 to 5 tenths of a second separating these 3 drivers. Big Weir right in the back of that Bentley, just looking for the move. So we're now entering lap 20 out of 39. We can talk about the racing. Well, while we watch the racing, we can talk about a few things, actually. There's a few things I actually do want to talk about while we get the chance. Why not? We can talk about a few things. Let's talk about this calendar. That's another thing I should mention. So currently we are here at the Monaco Grand Prix. It was a brilliant couple of last races. I wasn't here for the previous race in Bahrain, but I heard it was great. Next week, we'll be heading to a very amazing circuit, and that is going to be the San Marino Grand Prix, as they call it, but I do believe that's the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, as it's actually not in San Marino, to be honest. Imola is what I'm talking about. To be honest, it is actually not in San Marino. San Marino is close by, but it's actually in the Bologna area, in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy. Or Italia. Yeah, that'll be great. We'll be going to Imola next week. Then we'll be heading to Russia, to Sochi. Then to Portugal, Portimao. Then to the USA. We'll be heading to good old Austin, Texas. We'll be heading over to the US, to my home Grand Prix. I'm heading over to Texas for that race. And then we're going to round things off at Brazil to complete the season. That'll be great as well. So just a few more races left, really, guys. I mean, it's going to be pretty incredible end to the championship. A lot of races to look forward to. I'm excited to be going to Imola. That is going to be something I'm really looking forward to. Of course, I'm going to be excited for the Austin Grand Prix, as it looks like Big Weir is coming into the pit lane. Big Weir as the first of these 3 drivers to pit, and this could be a race-winning strategy for the Toyota driver, as he's coming into the pit lane, and he's going to go for this undercut strategy. He pits onto the hards, as expected, as he's going to come out. Oh, he gets a wing change as well. That might have affected his result. So if Lewis goes for the undercut here, he doesn't pit for wing change, he might be able to get ahead of James here. I think he's actually going to get ahead of James if he undercuts. But we'll see. I mean, of course, Bentley want the best result for their team, and right now they're getting it. Their only competitor is really Big Weir in this race, and Big Weir, he had that wing change, and he's going to be a few seconds behind them once they do pit. A few more things I did want to talk about. I think I mentioned this, that I got a video on my YouTube channel coming out Monday. If you guys are interested in all that sort of thing, definitely go subscribe. There is going to be a ton of content coming out. I've been making content for quite a bit, and as I have mentioned, I've been making content for every single Monday. As James comes into the pit lane, Lewis also double stack for the 2 Bentleys. Snooker does retire from the session. Is that going to be a full core safety car? That might be a full core safety car. I'm not exactly sure about that, though. Let's ride on board with Big Weir, who's coming just past that Monster Energy car. Seems like safety car might be turned off or something like that. As the 2 Bentleys will exit the pit lane in first and second position, and they will be really far ahead of Big Weir. They're going to be around 5 to 4 seconds ahead of the Toyota driver. But what I was saying previously was, yeah, I got a ton of new videos coming out, guys, and I've been making videos all the way up. I actually have video plans, and I actually already have videos on YouTube that are going out all the way up to April. I have stuff, I'm working actually on May, on the content for May. So that'll be fun. And then, of course, I'm working on videos that come out, like news stories and all that sort of thing. Like I just came out with a new video that was all about Andretti, which is great. Actually, that's something we should probably talk about at some stage. Andretti is looking to enter F1. It is a very, very interesting thing. The FIA just needs to accept the proposal set by Michael Andretti to enter F1 in 2024. So definitely go check out that video that I did make as I explain all of that sort of thing if you're interested in wondering about Andretti. Also, what's going on right now is F1 testing for 2022. F1 is back. We are back. We're racing. And right now, preseason testing has just gotten very interesting. Alfa Romeo showed up with a camo car. They have not released their livery yet. They're releasing that on the 27th of February. Monday it will be, so next week. So that'll be great to see. But Alfa are testing. Right now, what it seems like is that, of course, we don't know anything right now because it's just preseason testing. But what the teams are saying is that Ferrari and McLaren look really, really quick. And I got to agree with them. I think Ferrari and McLaren might be a step ahead of Mercedes right now, and maybe even Red Bull. And I know Mercedes always sandbag, and I know Red Bull always do kind of the same, but it seems like Ferrari and McLaren might just have the opportunity to maybe challenge Mercedes and Red Bull this year, and that would be incredible. And there were some rumors that 2 teams did find a loophole in the regulations. And so these regulations, maybe 2 teams were able to get that. There was rumors that it was Red Bull and AlphaTauri. But now I'm starting to think it might be Ferrari and McLaren. Because it seems like both teams are really have the pace to do so. And it seems like it's not just what they're showing out on track. And of course, we don't really know. The times don't really say anything until we get to Bahrain in March. It's not just that, it's the technology that they have produced on their car. Ferrari have that amazing design on the side of their car, which is kind of like, it kind of looks like the Spa Rouge section, to be honest. Someone actually made a meme about that. But it's got this really cool design, and it might help out them to be able to get good results. McLaren also have a great design as well. Also, Red Bull, they have that side pod is very narrow. It is very different to any other team on the grid. But Ferrari, Aston, they both have the vents on those cars, which is going on. So that is quite interesting to see. So I'm excited to see what Ferrari and Aston can do with those vents. Like I mentioned previously, Ferrari's got that awesome design, which is quite interesting to see as well. But what else? McLaren's got that great design. AlphaTauri has also got a great design as well. They got that interesting kind of like I don't even know how to explain it really. It's pretty cool to see. So every team's got something different. They really do. And it is great to see. Also, I'm going to be posting a livery video as well. If you guys want to go check out all the liveries and all that sort of thing for the Formula 1 teams, definitely go check out that video as well. I should be posting that this Monday, but we'll see how that works out. So getting back to the racing. I know I've been talking about other things for a bit, but there hasn't been too much action on track, and so I thought, why not? Let's talk about some Formula 1 news and all that sort of thing. So we'll see what happens in all that sort of way. But right now, James currently leading the race by 9/10 to Lewis in P2. It's been a great race for Bentley. Big Weir has catched up to the Bentleys and is now 1.5 seconds behind. So that battle for the top 3 is looking pretty good. But besides that, not a lot of action, I'd say. Mr. Basil, 10 seconds behind Yo-Yo, who's 6 seconds behind Robin. Robin locks up a little bit. Yo-Yo might have the opportunity to make the move on Robin. Robin's actually coming into the pit lane, though. So he's going to come into the pit lane. Yo-Yo will get ahead into 6th. But besides that, the battle still for 1st and 2nd. That is our closest thing on track. 9 runners still in the Grand Prix. And, yeah, guys, I don't really know what else to talk about. If you guys do have any questions, though, if you have an idea of maybe something we can talk about, let me know down in the comments. I've kind of run out of ideas. It is quite hard to commentate alone because there's not really anyone to commentate with you and talk about things. But that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, just if you guys do have any questions, though, let me know. I'd be interested in talking about whatever you wanted to talk about. So anyway, what can we talk about right now? Well, Azura is coming into the pit lane for Monster Energy. He should come out right ahead of Yo-Yo, but it seems like there's a delay there. Maybe a penalty, it seems. It looks like it was a penalty for the Monster Energy car. As Yo-Yo is just coming into the swimming pool section now, into La Rascas. Azur will get out ahead, but by how much to the Toyota driver? Here comes Yo-Yo, coming down the straight now. There's Azur. And Yo-Yo still has not been able to, we don't see him in the view there. He has 2.9 seconds behind, but Azura has just come out on soft tires, so that's going to work out really well. And maybe, just maybe, Shug's Life and Nem, I think, swap positions there. So we had a nice little battle there for 8th. But just maybe, if one of the top 3 does collide or something like that, or if they retire or they have to pit or something like that, that might give the opportunity to either Azura or Yo-Yo to come into a position to take 3rd in the Grand Prix or podium or something like that. So that'll be great. We'll see. All right, so the top 3 battle has intensified. We enter the final remaining laps of the Monaco Grand Prix. Big Weir in P3, Lewis P2, James P1, Big Weir right behind. And this is a good thing for Big Weir because he is on 1 lap older tires, which does mean that he will have better pace because those hards, once they get around lap 8, lap 9, somewhere around there, probably around the lap 10 mark, they become super quick. And even if Big Weir just has a little bit more pace, for just at least 1 lap, then he might be able to overtake Lewis and James. But he has just been given a 3-second time penalty, which is going to really affect his race because I think he now has 6 seconds. No, he has 3 seconds. So if he overtakes Lewis, he should be able to get P2. But the battle for first is going to get a little intense here. I don't know if he's going to be able to grab P1. James looks to have this race win. That's actually Big Weir's coming into the pit lane. Big Weir into the pits. Maybe going for fastest lap, actually. Let's see. He's going to pit for a wing change, it seems. Oh, no. And it looks like there is Mr. Basil coming into the pit lane as well. Wing change for Toyota. Wing change, it seems, for Monster Energy as well. And Big Weir should end up with a pretty good gap in front and a pretty good gap behind. So the battle really is between Lewis and James for first position in the race. So we'll see if Lewis will be able to make the move on James here. Ooh, Zur gets very close to the wall there, but keeps ahead. Zur has set the fastest lap of the race at 112.4. Can Big Weir beat that, though? That is the question. We will find out. We're actually going to ride on board with Big Weir in a moment. He's on an out lap right now, so from the pit lane, so he will have the opportunity to make a fast lap on the next lap. So we'll ride on board with him in a moment and see exactly how his lap went. Quick facts about the Monaco Grand Prix. I think 1996 was a race where I think everyone knows about. It's where Oliver Panis wins the Monaco Grand Prix. He won that race with LGE, and there was only 3 finishers that race, or maybe 4. I can't remember exactly. It was 3 or 4. He won it for LGE's only race win, and basically Oliver's home Grand Prix, as Monaco is so close to France, as we're going to ride on board with Big Weir and see what he can do. 2003 saw no overtakes the entire Grand Prix. Another quick fact about Monaco. Another fact as well is the Ricciardo days, as I like to call them, as 2016 saw Daniel Ricciardo get pole position, and then he picked up he was going to pick up the win, but unfortunately Red Bull didn't have the tires ready, and Lewis was able to grab that win. Ricciardo and Hamilton had that great battle. Unfortunately, didn't really work out for Ricciardo, as unfortunately he lost that race victory. But 2018 came 2 years later, actually 1 year later in 2017. I do believe he got a podium, but 2 years later Ricciardo got pole position again, and it was redemption day for Daniel Ricciardo, as everyone called it, as he took the win. His win of the Monaco Grand Prix, his 7th win in Formula 1. And we thought that might have been his last because he moved to Renault, and it was not really working out for him. But he picked up another win at the Italian Grand Prix in 2021 for McLaren. Big Weir to the line, sets the fastest lap of the race at 111.490 for the Toyota driver. But great to see that as well. Also, 2021, another fact about the Monaco Grand Prix. Leclerc, he took his home pole position in his home Grand Prix. His first pole position since 2019. Ferrari did not have a great 2020 season. 2021 looked to be a little bit more promising, but Monaco and Leclerc, his home Grand Prix, took pole position. It was a great day for Leclerc, but it was kind of ruined because he crashed out in qualifying. He was a little worried that he wouldn't start the Grand Prix, and unfortunately, that happened, which was incredibly unfortunate. As what's going on with Big Weir? He's backing off a little bit here. And I wonder if maybe he may be trying to conserve fuel. It seems like that's probably the case. Maybe he wasn't expecting that safety cars. Could fuel affect this race? Could actually fuel affect this race? If James gets low fuel mode, Lewis maybe doesn't. Could Lewis win the Grand Prix just because of fuel? Is that actually a possibility? Well, we'll find out. So it looks like Shug's Life is also going to go for fastest lap as well, as he's coming in for the pit lane to pit onto the soft compound tires. Yellow flag. Is that Big Weir? No, that is Yo-Yo spinning around. Yo-Yo off the track, and Robin starting to catch up too. Yo-Yo's got no wing. He's trying to get back on track, but here comes Robin. Robin in the tunnel now. Yo-Yo. Oh no, Lewis. Lewis, no! Lewis and Yo-Yo made contact. Robin gets ahead in the process, but Lewis has lost that. He's still going to take P2, I think, but he's basically lost that. James just gives him a little bit more free air and an opportunity now, as Yo-Yo gets a 3-second time penalty. And Yo-Yo will come into the pit lane to pit onto probably a soft compound tires, and he should get out ahead of Mr. Basil, unless Mr. Basil is able to get ahead, because Yo-Yo might pit for the wing damage as well. Looks like he's got wing damage. Mr. Basil is actually going to grab P6 here. I think he should be able to get ahead of Yo-Yo. It's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight, but I think, let's find out. Here comes Yo-Yo. There goes Mr. Basil. Mr. Basil is now up into P6 and has got a pretty good gap to Yo-Yo now. And this will be good for Mr. Basil, as he's gonna finish in P6, I think, with penalties still for Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo's got 6-second time penalties. So all Mr. Basil needs to do is keep a 6-second gap to Yo-Yo. Well, actually, Yo-Yo needs to gain, let's see here. He needs to gain 10 seconds on Mr. Basil. So even if Yo-Yo overtakes Mr. Basil, all Mr. Basil needs to do is stay within 6 seconds, and he's got 6th position. So we are now entering lap 35 out of 39. It's been a very long race here in Monaco, but just 3 or so laps remaining of the Grand Prix here in the Principality. It's 8 seconds separates first and second position. Big Weir in P3. He's going to pick up a 3rd position, so that'll be good for him. Bentley will grab some mega points in today's race, so that'll be good for them as well. And next week, as I did mention, we'll be heading to Imola, which is just down into Italy. Monaco is very close to Italy, and they'll be heading just down into Italy to Imola, so that'll be good. And then they're going to head over to Russia, which is quite a long ways from Imola, so they'll have to take a plane. If this was in real life, then and not in the virtual world, it would be like that. But yeah, this is all, of course, on the F1 2021 game. So still ready on board with James. We're probably not going to see any overtakes unless Yo-Yo is going to make that overtake on Mr. Basil. But position changes, I don't think we're going to see any position changes. Yo-Yo might get past Mr. Basil here, though. He gets a little bit too much oversteer, though. He's going to have the DRS. Let's get telemetry on so we can see that. He's got 26% ERS. Oh, Mr. Basil locks up a little bit. Yo-Yo makes a little bit of contact there. He might have the opportunity to make the move on Mr. Basil, though, in the next couple of turns here, because there's turn 5, and that could be a great place for him to make an overtake. He's looking for the move, but cannot get past, and Yo-Yo could still grab 6th position in the race. He's just got to make sure that he gets over 6 seconds on Mr. Basil. And he's got to overtake him, which is quite difficult to do. Oh, it seems like Mr. Basil's got a little bit of wing damage, though, so Yo-Yo's probably going to make the overtake here at the Novelle Chicane. Let's find out. Oh, Yo-Yo and Mr. Basil make contact, or with the wall, as Yo-Yo sends it on Mr. Basil. Oh, what's going on here? Who gets ahead? Mr. Basil gets ahead. I didn't know what happened there, but looks like they were both trying to let each other past. All good though. And I think Yo-Yo should get past Mr. Basil in the DRS though. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But Mr. Basil will stay ahead for now. Oh no! Mr. Basil and Yo-Yo make contact. Yo-Yo's got no front wing now. And Yo-Yo's going to have to just make sure he keeps it on track. It's not looking good, but if you can try and get the gap to Mr. Basil, then he should be good. But he's got wing damage now, so ooh, I don't know. That's a really hard ask. And that might be a racing incident because Yo-Yo was just taking a normal line, and then Mr. Basil was also braking due to wing damage as Azur comes into the pit lane. Robin could be grabbing fourth here. Azur into the pit lane for a wing change on the final 2 laps of the race. Robin could be getting top 4 and more points for Bentley here. That would be really great. Here goes Robin up into 4th now. Good move as he puts himself up into the top 4. All 3 Bentleys in the top 4. Just imagine if it's 1, 2, 3 Bentley. But Big Weir will separate that, and that'll be good points for Toyota. And Azur will grab a top 5 for Monster Energy. That'll be good points for Monster Energy because Azur and Mr. Basil could be finishing 5th and 6th here. And Shug's Life in the battle as well. Shug's Life trying to make the move on Mr. Basil. And the Toyota right ahead as well. Shug's Life has got, let's see, how many penalties does he have? He's got 9 seconds. Ooh, that's a big ask. It's definitely possible though. Oh, both go a little deep into that corner. They got wing damage, so it makes sense why. Shug's Life, I don't think has any wing damage. Let's find out. No, he does not. I don't think so. Not visually speaking. And he's having to slow down quite a bit because Shug's Life's got to make this move. If he's going to get that gap, which is kind of impossible at this stage, but he might be able to get P5 because he might be able to get P5 and might be able to get the position off of Yo-Yo. Actually, not P5. He might be able to get P7. But we'll see. Yellow flag. Was that one of the I'm just keeping an eye on the Bentleys because they might get low fuel mode. Let's take an onboard. We can go to telemetry as well. Oh, they're both on very low fuel mode. Everyone's on low fuel mode though. That's coming into turn 7. We're going to ride on board with James, see if he can get to the line and finish this one in P1. So, oh, he's on low fuel mode though. Lewis is on low fuel mode too. Is Big Weir going to be able to do this? Or does he in low fuel mode as well? Yo-Yo's out. Yo-Yo out of the race. He becomes the next retirement of the Grand Prix. Unfortunate. So I think everything should finish the way it is. James grabbed pole position in the one-shot qualifying. He grabbed the win in the sprint qualifying. It's been a great result for him. He led start to finish in the sprint qualifying. He leads start to finish here. Bentley 1-2 here in Monaco. James wins the race. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Lewis in P2. They do it in style as they go side by side to the line. James and Lewis 1-2 for Bentley. Congrats to Big Weir as well on the podium. He trundles to the line there. He spins it off in fashion and finishes P3. Congrats to Robin as well. P4 for Bentley. It's a 1-2-4 for Bentley. All 3 Bentleys in the top 4 with Big Weir in P3. Azur P5, Shug's Life P6, Mr. Basil takes P7, and Nem wasn't able to overtake Yo-Yo, so he'll finish P9, and Yo-Yo did DNF from the race. He'll finish in P8, but I don't think he'll be grabbing any points. So Mr. Basil is the last driver to come across the line. There he is. And I just want to say congrats to James. He has won the Monaco Grand Prix P1. He shakes that fist in the air and says, yes, 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 I have won the Monaco Grand Prix. And congrats to him. He really does deserve that one. Robin FR, driver of the day. To be honest, I got to agree with that. I mean, he went from, what was it? Really far down the grid. I think he had a wing damage. He had to pit very early on, I think. And he grabbed P4. I think he's going to be very happy with that. So that's the podium. It is James that grabs the win for Bentley. It is his teammate, Lewis in P2 for Bentley, so 1-2 for Bentley, and it is Big Weir on the podium for Toyota. A lot of changes in terms of positions. Standings might get changed as well, but that is the end of the Monaco Grand Prix. A pretty long one, I would say, as well. But that's that. That is the end of the Monaco Grand Prix. And that concludes everything here today. As we finish off the Monaco Grand Prix, there's the results. I already said it, so I won't say it again, but I will say Big Weir did grab the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so congrats to him on that one as well. And we do have a comment coming in. I do believe that's Robin. He said, thanks for the awesome comms. Thank you so much for driving. And really do appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for commenting that. That means a lot. So congrats to you. I do believe, Robin, that is you. He raced here today, if you guys were wondering about that. But yeah, Robin, congrats on that fourth position. Really well deserved on that one. But that's the results for the Monaco Grand Prix. I think that's going to conclude everything here in Monaco. Fastest lap does go to Big Weir. Congrats to Bentley as well on a 1-2 and a fourth position on a very successful race for them. They get a lot of points, actually. They get a ton of points in today's race, and not just this race, but also the sprint race as well. So congrats to them on that. But that is it for the Monaco Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. We're going to be ending things off here today for Limitless Formula Racing League. This was round 7 for the Monaco Grand Prix here in Formula 4, the Thursday division. And we will see you next week, round 8, Imola. For the race. I've been Formula Jonah, your commentator for today. If you guys enjoyed the stream, make sure to like. If you are interested in seeing more LFR content, make sure to subscribe as well. And I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Have a great day, and yeah, have a good one. Peace out.